Let's look at another example where we're given the slope, m equal 4, and a point that the line passes through. So when you're given the slope and you're given a point, we use the point-slope form to find the equation of the line. So it is very simple. We just plug it in. We get y minus y1. Here's x1 comma y1. So, comma y1. So y1 is 7. Y minus 7 equals, the slope is 4 times x minus negative 2, which is x plus 2. That is the equation of the line in point-slope form. Now we want to write it in slope-intercept form like we had done on an earlier equation. So we have to say y minus 7, and use the distributive property here. 4x plus 4 times 2 is 8. Add 7 to both sides, and we're done. That means that y equals 4x plus 15. All right. I'm saying this is a simple example. Find the equation of the line that has slope 0, that passes through the point -3, 3, comma, -5. Well, that's pretty easy. Y equals well, we already talked about this. If m is 0, it means it's a horizontal line. And when you have a horizontal line, here's all you have to do. Take this y value and set it equal to y. Y equals -5. That means that no matter what, doesn't matter what x is, y is -5. So if x is a 3, y is -5. Graphing it, you'd go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the line. That's the horizontal line. Now let's find the equation of the line passing through these 2 points. This is the first one we're doing like this. Now maybe we did something similar, but we need to obtain the slope first thing. So m is equal to 7 minus 3 on top. On the bottom we get 4 minus 1. And that would be 4 over 3. So our slope is 4/3. Now, we have 2 points here. Which one will I use in the point-slope form? The answer is you can use either one, and you'll get the correct equation either way. So I'll pick 1 and 3, 1 comma 3. So I'll have y minus 3 equals 4/3 times x minus 1. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I use this as my x1, y1. That's the equation of the line, but I'm going to go ahead and write it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to write it way over here. Y minus 3 equals 4/3 x minus 4/3. I just distributed 4/3 times x, 4/3 times minus 1. And all I have to do now is add 3 to both sides. Well, when I add 3 here, it cancels out to 0. When I add 3 over here, I remember that 3 is equal to 9/3. So I'm going to add 9/3 to -4/3. And I will get y equals 4/3 x. 9/3 minus 5, 4/3 is 5/3. That is the equation in slope-intercept form. And if you had written the line like y minus 7, we're using this point instead, equals 4/3 times x minus 4. After you simplify, you're going to get exactly the same thing as this. That's why I prefer the slope-intercept form for the equation, because everybody always gets the exact same answer. If you choose this point, In the point-slope form, your answer looks like this. If you choose this point, it looks like this. They look like completely different lines, but they are equivalent lines. Well, what do you do when you have, but basically, what's the formula for what we just did? The two-point equation. Well, you don't really have one directly. If you want the equation of the line passing through this point and this point, well, we first can figure out what m is, the slope. And the slope, I'm going to write it down here a little lower, is simply y2 minus y1, just like we did before, over x2 minus x1. Now that we've computed that, we can simply say the line passing through the 2 points is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And if I wanted to, I could have used, instead of x1 and y1, I could have used x2 and y2, and the equation would have been absolutely equivalent. All right. How do we find, we've already talked about the y-intercept. You know, when you have y equals mx plus b, that b is the y-intercept. It's the point, it's the number on the y-axis where the line crosses it. Well, how do you find the x-intercept if you were asked to find it? Well, the x-intercept is a point on the x-axis where the line crosses. So the x-intercept of a line is the x-coordinate of a line where the line crosses the x-axis. To find the x-intercept, and this works for all types of functions, to find the x-intercept, set y equal to 0 in the linear equation and solve for x. Very, very simple. So let's do an example. Find the x-intercept of this line. All right, well, what do we do? Set y equal to 0. And that would give us 4x equals 30. Right? Because if y is a 0, that term goes away. So that means that x is equal to, divide both sides by 4, 30 over 4, which is 15 over 2. That is the x-intercept.